All right, we are back, ready for another episode, fire episode incoming, about to go down. So,
Yes, sir.
without further
We
ado,
are every Saturday, man. Y'all already know what it is, man.
yes, sir, let's hit it. Infamous Raider Rundown. Appreciate you, my guy, Cheeto Linus. Appreciate you, guy, Chris, Protect the Shield. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Hey,
What up, Lo? What is good? What is none other than our guy? I love that intro, man.
always, man. Always gets me in the mood, man.
Yes, sir. Salute, nation. Good morning to everyone already here. Appreciate everyone pulling up with us. Welcome to another episode of Good Morning Raiders. We're your hosts. I'm Jay Raider. This is my guy, the Raider Rundown. Back in full effect.
Yes,
Bring you
sir,
another
man.
fire episode.
As we always are, man. Y'all know the spiel, man, that we give at the beginning. Make sure you guys tapping on the like button at the very beginning. And you know what I say always, man. If you're feeling what you're hearing, tap on that subscribe button as well. Help you guys out, man, with the sub count as we do, man. But appreciate all the family tapping in with us this early morning. You already know, man. We about to get into some real Raider talk.
Yes, sir. We have quite a bit of things to talk about this morning, but before we go ahead and do that and bring in our guests, really quick, we got to go ahead and say what's up to everybody already here, pulled up. When to hear some good Fire Raider content. Shout out to my guy Robert Pena in the building already. What a dude, brother. Shout out to my guy 207 in the building. Shout out to our guy Raiders Resistance.
Man, what's happening? You already know what it is, man.
Oh man. Yeah, shout out to our guy Anthony. Thanks for pulling up, my guy. Salute.
What's going on, bro? What's going on? Salute.
Frank Wilber in the building. Salute. Good morning, brother. Marcus Banks. What up, my guy? Salute.
What's happening?
Appreciate you
What's
pulling
going on?
up. Yeah. Pope in the building. Good morning. Salute.
That's a
in the
fact.
building. Yes. All right. Let me go ahead and bring out our guest for this morning. This man, he's been on YouTube for quite a while. He does a quiz show, but I think more notably he's known for his Tecmo lives that he does. Really.
Hold on, brother. Your mic cut out. Am I tripping? Chad, am I tripping? Can I not hear? Okay, yeah, I'm not tripping. I see Afakasi in the background. So I think his mic cut out. Let me know if you're getting it in, man. Let me know. Nah, we can't. Okay, there we go.
All right, cool. All right.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
On my intro. All right, cool. All right. Anyways, I gotta play Take My Ball. It's cool. It's cool. I love Take My Ball. But then he's also been pulling up with my guy Jeff on Friday nights. But you know this man, none other than Afakasi Raider. Salute, brother.
What's
Appreciate
happening,
you
man? What's
pulling up.
going on, man? Salute.
Good morning, gang. Hello, everyone. It's a good evening for me. My apologies, first and foremost, if you hear any background noise. It's my niece up late on the iPad, so bear with me if you hear any background noise. So apologies. And just first and foremost, you pronounce it egalitarian. I saw that you struggled to say his name, so you just called out the number. Put some respect on my guy egalitarian's name.
Hey, it took me a minute to get his name right too, so don't worry about it, Jay. It took me a minute, bro. But salute the egalitarian in the building, man, for always showing love. Always showing love. Yeah, we do have a $2 holla in the building. I ain't gonna run from it. I like it already. We starting off. And
hey, shots fired, bro.
We appreciate you. Gotta holla as always, man. Thank you.
Real public enemy number one.
Real rock, real. You already know what it is. But salute to Afakasi, man. We appreciate you for joining us this Saturday, man. Definitely gonna be a fire show. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's go ahead and get into it. We actually had some news this week for once.
Finally,
quite a while, right? So Raiders went out and got themselves a linebacker. They went ahead and signed Germaine Pratt. He is now a Raider. Pratt was released by the Bengals on Monday, I think on Sunday, and then on Monday, literally, we went out and signed the dude. So he is now a Raider. Pratt signed a 1-year, $4.78 million deal with the Raiders. But big news, literally, Germaine Pratt signed by the Raiders. And we were talking about going out and getting another linebacker, and I think Pete and Spytech were listening to us. You know, the need that is really there for that linebacker room. But really quick, I let's go ahead and get Pete's take on Germaine Pratt. Go ahead and pull that up.
Yeah, so let's see what Pete's talking about here with Germaine, man, because I was very intrigued about some of his comments he said, but I definitely want to get a little second, listen to it.
Yeah. So this is Pete on Germaine Pratt, and then shout out to our guy Raider Resistance.
As always, man.
He is in the building. If you're not following him, make sure you go ahead and give him a follow. Wonder comes with the breaking news and fire content always.
That's the homie Prez. Salute to him.
Let's put her.
Well, he's a really hard-nosed kid, tough kid, played a lot of football, has been really healthy, has played all of the positions to give us a flexibility that really will help us. And so we've been really pleased with Landon. He did a great job of taking over the leadership position and calling everything. And Devin has done a really nice job too, to put these three guys together where they're on the field at the same time. That's a loaded up group, and they're all tough and they're all physical and they're all downhill players, which is the style that we love to play with. So I was really pleased that Johnny was able to get that done.
Let me ask you about the other guy, Germaine Pratt. What was it about Germaine that made you guys kind of quickly come to terms with it?
Well, he's a really hard-nosed kid, tough kid, played a lot of football, has been really healthy, has played all of the positions to give us a flexibility that really will help us. And so we've been really pleased with Landon. He did a great job.
All right. So that was Pete on Germaine Pratt, that acquisition. So obviously now the question is, and the title of this show, right? Linebacker room, is that upgraded? What are your thoughts on it? Let's go ahead and start with our guest. What are your thoughts, brother?
Definitely an upgraded and definitely much needed. I mean, I like what we had with signing Landon Roberts. He seems like a wily veteran, a no-nonsense kind of guy, all football, all business. He's more of a run support kind of guy. Outside of that, like, it was, I'm going to be honest, pretty mid, and that's putting it very, very nicely. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we signed 2 guys who were in Devin White and Jalen Smith, who are years removed from their best years, and we're taking flyers on them because of the lack of talent and depth, or the lack of belief that this coaching and the regime has in the guys we already have had in the door. You know what I'm saying? Like these young cats that, whether they be drafted or undrafted, it's really starting to bite us in the butt that we really haven't addressed that position properly via the draft, or properly groom some young talent to really be anchors for us for the now and for the future. So, taking a guy who from the stats, like, I mean, he seems pretty productive. So he was drafted the same year as Max Crosby. He seems like he can do it all. He may not be the pass rushing linebacker per se, but like in terms of run support, he looks pretty good. In terms of pass coverage, he looks pretty good as well. I mean, that's something we've really lacked over the years, like a true coverage linebacker. I mean, Robert Spillane did decent in that, but this guy has some really nice stats I can see in terms of pass coverage. So to have that diversity at linebacker, and a guy who, it seems like he wasn't released from the Bengals due to talent or whatever it may be. It was more of a salary situation, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a contract.
It was more money.
Right. Contract. So to get a guy who's a good player and still, and not like he's a veteran presence, but he's not like over the hill kind of guy. Yeah, I like it. I really do. And it makes our linebacker room much more believable for me to support and get behind, that we might have something here that we can work with.
I'm in agreement, man. I'm in 100% agreement. You know me. We've been over here talking about it, Jay, for weeks upon weeks about that linebacker room. So as it stands right now, I like the way it fits because it seems like everybody is suited for the roles, right? We're talking about Elandon Roberts being the middle linebacker, run stuffer, perfect, right? And we let Germaine Pratt be the pass coverage type linebacker that we needed, because before he got signed, it was going to be Eichenberg or Cody Lindenberg or somebody like that. So as of right now, I'm cool. I'm not saying Germaine Pratt is Fred Warner or anything like that, but what I will say is he's better than what we had. Definitely better than what we had. Then you can actually use Devin White how he's supposed to be used to actually rush the passer, because that's what he's supposed to be doing. He is not supposed to be dropping back in coverage and doing all that extra. Well, you want him to kind of be an extra rusher. Same with Amari Gaynor. You can use Amari Gaynor the same way like you use Devin White. Use him to rush the passer. You feel what I'm saying? Do all that. So for me, that's I'm cool with that. I'm definitely fine. And like, kind of to piggyback off of what Afakasi said, this allows us to now not have to rush those young linebackers that we may have got and we kind of have faith in out there too early. Like Gaynor, right? Like Gaynor, or maybe they see something in Lindenberg or Eichenberg and they're like, okay, we want to hone in on this, but we don't want to play them right now. They're probably not ready to go out there right now. So right now you got 3 veteran linebackers that you can have some faith in that's played well before, and then you good.
I'm not sold on Eichenberg at all.
Yeah,
not yet.
No. For me, I agree the same way. This is something where we needed to go ahead and address a position, literally a big hole that we needed to go ahead and fill, and we went out and did it. Right. Germaine is not a rock star, but he's solid. And I think that's the best that we can go ahead and kind of hope for, And I think they literally hit from what's currently out there and who's available. I think Spy Tech and Carroll hit the nail on the coffin as of right now, right? Next year, it might be a thing where we have to probably wait next year to sign, a better, bigger name to that linebacker room. But as of right now, I think we can go ahead and take a sigh of relief at the moment, right? At least in the middle, at the linebacker position for that middle linebacker, because it was a big area of concern. So now, go ahead
woeful.
A little bit.
It's good enough for 17 games at least. Like we can all say, like, all right, we can roll with this into the season. Before, I was scared. I was like, by week 7, 8, bro, we gonna be mad. I already knew what time it was, bro.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, we've got two guys who at the very least are going to be solid in Landon Roberts and Pratt. It would be a big bonus if we can just get one of these guys to even come back to being 75% of their best days in Jalen Smith and Devin White. That's going to be a huge win. And if we can just get just one of these young cats to progress and develop and show that they have something, you know what I mean? Like I already highlighted, I'm not confident and I wasn't impressed with Eichenberg. Yes, I know he's just a rookie, but still, like, he didn't show me nothing. And when I did see him on the field, he was slow, couldn't get off his blocks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Lindenberg, if that's his name. A 7th round guy. Like, I mean, with these 7th round picks, we're lucky to get anything out of these guys. If they take the field, it can be a rotational special teams. That's a win. I'll take that. And then you got Amari Gaynor, like the preseason hero last season. I like what I saw in preseason from him last year. Didn't really do much in the regular season, but we'll see. I mean, a UDFA, again, same thing I said about these late round draft picks, I'll say about Gaynor. If we can get any juice out of him, that'd be fantastic. Right. You know what I meant. But like, I no matter which way we go, I really want us to try and draft a guy next year. You know what I mean? Like, not some project guy like we have done. Like, we haven't drafted a true linebacker in the first 3 rounds since C.O. Moore. All these other guys are like these Tanner Muse and Devon Diablos, who was okay. You know what I'm saying? But they're project guys, safety, channel linebacker. Just, can we get a true linebacker, please?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Because we getting all these rentals, it seems like, year after year, whatever the case. You would hope Devin White is the guy, because it sounds like they're trying to prop him up as the guy from just hearing him in his interviews and then hearing how Spytech spoke about him, and even Pete, right? How they speak about him. They hoping that he is that guy. And from all intents and purposes, his role now should be easier. I seen, Bloody Raider say, that it could be a tell when he's on the field. There's going to be some times he's going to have to drop back into coverage if you're talking about Devin White. We just know it's not his strength. Primarily, you would like him to say, if we're playing the Chiefs, for example, a spy on Patrick Mahomes would be Devin White for me. I like that, right? Like, if that's his role and you chasing him around the field. But if I'm asking him to drop back into a zone and spot, we just can't consistently ask him to do that. So now that you got Pratt, we can do that. We can now say somebody else can go ahead and drop back and play that zone coverage effectively enough to get into some lanes, right? Again, we're not saying he's Fred Warner. Nobody's saying it's the greatest coverage linebacker we've ever seen. But if y'all was confident that Tommy Eichenberg and Cody Lindenberg for 17 games is going to go out there and do something, bro, hey, I wish I had that faith. Gaynor is the only guy that I really have some type of faith in that can do something. But I don't know what his role is right now. Like, is he a rushing type of linebacker? Is he a strict middle linebacker? Like, I don't know what he is yet. So that's my only thing with him too.
Speaking of the middle linebacker, who do you think was going to be out of Pratt and Landon Roberts? Who's going to be that true Mike?
I think Landon. Only because he's been there. Only because he's been there already. And I just think, first, second down, he's cool making those calls, making those checks.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Let your boy just worry about coverage, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially coming into it right now. Let me kind of go over Germaine's stats for last year. So last year, guy had 80 solo tackles. He had two forced fumbles. He had 2 fumbles recovered, 2 interceptions. So dude put in work. Those are pretty solid.
6 pass deflections too.
Yeah, 6 pass deflections.
Then he had 10. The 2 years ago, he just had 10. So you're looking at it, it's like he's getting his hands on the football.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, he's making plays at the catch point. I really like that. It's just a shame that, like, here we are, and like, I like the signing, and this is no knock on Pratt, that we're having to sign a guy that we've been trying to draft. We've been trying to draft that coverage linebacker with these Amari Bernies, these Tanner Muse type deals, Divine Diablo. I'm getting tired of trying to take flyers on these guys, and it's just not working out for us. It brings me back to what I said before. Can we just draft a true linebacker, like, inside the first 3 rounds, not having to wait till the back end to try and address that position? Because here we are, we up until now we signed one deep, fairly solid linebacker, and we took 2 flyers on guys that like I said, you said it best. We're hoping with Devin White, we're hoping with Jalen Smith they can return to form. You know what I mean? Because they're years removed from that. So I'm getting kind of tired of this kind of trying to do this in the draft. Now we're here signing a guy like Pratt who's actually solidified that role and done that in the league. Like, can we just hit on it in the draft, please?
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree. And I think going into 2026, I think the roles are going to be reversed because there was so much need offensively that there was literally retool that had to be done offensively. So the focus this year was offensive, but it was still mixed in with some D tackles, went out and got a corner, a pretty good corner. Hopefully, you're looking like this guy might be CB1, and we'll talk about it in just a bit. And then we got one linebacker, but 7th round pick. I think going into 2026 is really where you're going to start seeing more Pete-oriented kind of defensive buildup. We'll go out and get, a solid linebacker, get solid corners. We probably get the next, Christian Wilkins or Max Crosby.
I will say this, because I 100% agree with that, because the offense did need an overhaul. I mean, we could all agree on that. The offense was terrible.
Yeah. Understatement.
Understatement. But let's say, for the linebacker core, right? For the linebacker core, I'm going to give maybe it's not a hot take, but for right now, I'll say I think right now, our linebacker core is better right now than it was last year at this time. And yes,
not a very high bar. Not a very high bar outside of Robert.
Because we had Robert Spillane.
Outside of Spillane, it's not a high bar.
And some people would be like, "What?" Because that's the only person they're focusing on. They're only focused on Robert Spillane. But you got to understand, Pratt versus Diablo is not even a discussion. It's not a discussion, dog. Pratt's better. That's just what it is. Simple, plain. So already we got better there, right? And then I don't even think we had a third linebacker last year we can rely on at all. So the fact you got some type of name in Devin White and you got some type of something back there, it automatically the room look better to me. I'll just say that off rip.
Right. Overall, it does. Spillane was the only name that really brought it up, and he did very well for us over the course of 2 seasons. Great Raider, once a Raider, always a Raider. I wish him the best. But as a whole, I would agree on that. Like, I'm just hoping one of these guys like Devin White or Jalen Smith, like I said, 75% of what their best years will be a big win for us.
Oh yeah,
100%. Big win.
And looking at comparables as far as contract wise, from what Spillane got signed over in New England to what we went out and purchased, these 3 linebackers, literally we got like 3 for 1. I think all the contracts put together equal out about Robert Spillane's contract. So as far as cap space, we're winning there. We improve. Looking at it now, it looks like it was a step forward in the linebacker room. So win-win as of right now, right? Yeah. So we're moving forward, which is what we want to do. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move on to this next part, right? So the rumor out there, Shaq Griffin met with the Raiders this week. Now, could he possibly be that corner that we might be looking for? Maybe, right? He has some continuity with Pete Carroll. That reunion might possibly happen. But I mean, let me go ahead and pull this up real quick. There you go. But yeah, so Shaq Griffin met with the Raiders this week. He flew in, and that might happen. What are our thoughts on Griffin possibly being a Raider?
I'll go after right now if you want to go first.
For me, it's an okay move, right? Like I would question what he's doing personally. Like, this is just a guess too. I would think he's probably playing slot or nickel because we have no nickel corners at all except Darnay Holmes. So that's probably what he's doing. Plus, he's like 5'10". Like, and usually, not usually. I do count measurables most of the time, but especially with Pete and corners, you got to talk about measurables. It's almost like a must because if you know how Pete likes his corners built, 6'2", you know what I mean, long, lanky. So if you're talking about Griffin, he's only 5'10", 190, right? So then at that point, for him in a Pete system, that screams a slot corner. So cool, I'm with that. But that'd be the only thing there, and you can get him for cheap for sure. For me personally, yeah, I want to swing high. You know who I want, bro? I want Jalen Ramsey. That is what it is there. But
Yeah.
if we can't get that, because I heard Miami's playing hardball, they trying to have us give premium draft capital and take on the contract, which is asinine. Like, we can't do that. So it'd be cool to just bring in some more competition for the nickel spot, but it don't move the needle super high for me. I'll say it like that.
Right. Yeah, and speaking really quick, speaking of Jalen Ramsey and the Dolphins are currently working on a trade. He didn't attend mini camp. He hasn't really attended anything off season. So him departing from the Dolphins is going to happen. Now, whether it's going to happen via trade or he's going to get cut, that's yet to be determined. But as of right now, like Rendon said, they're working on trade and they're trying to get premium draft capital and take on a contract, which is fucking ridiculous, especially looking at his contract. It's astronomical. So I doubt maybe there's a team out there that pulls the trigger on that. As far as us, I don't see that happening, but I just want to give everybody kind of the updated version on Jalen Ramsey and the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Right. And I was saying to you off camera, it seems like Jalen Ramsey has that Ndamukong Suh effect. You know, every season he's always like, oh, we should get Jalen Ramsey, or we should get Ndamukong Suh. Remember that? Year in, year out.
Every year.
Sign Suh, bring him home, he's coming, and he doesn't come. It seems like that's also the case with Jalen Ramsey. It seems like every year he's the name that gets talked about, and until him or anyone else officially signs the dotted line as a Raider, I'm not getting excited for nobody. But as far as Griffin is concerned, I mean, did he have his meeting yet?
He had that meeting.
Okay.
I think it was yesterday, either yesterday or
Yeah.
Thursday.
We were talking about like backstage is that his flight got delayed like Tuesday or Wednesday, and then he had to fly out the next day. So he met. It's just we haven't heard anything as of yet with him.
Right. But I guess like what I think they're also looking at. You said we're lacking a true nickel outside of like Holmes. The other thing we're lacking in that secondary room, like I like what we have from the athleticism and the measurable side of things, but there's one glaring thing that we're missing: experience. It's very inexperienced. There's a lot of inexperience in that corner. I like that they're young. I like that a lot of them have the physical intangibles, but you know, how many years is our longest tenured cornerback currently? Is it Darnay Holmes? And how long has he been in?
It is Darnay Holmes, but he ain't been on the team that long, but he's the longest. I guess he's been in the league the longest, if that's what you want to say. Yeah,
that's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like how, and he's what, 5 years deep into his career?
He's damn near. I think he's like 28 or something like that. So he's not even 30 for real.
Right. But like to my point, like that's the only experience we have in the door. And if we do bring in Griffin, I mean, he's at least got that. He has had productive years with Seattle. But yeah, I mean, you know, we'll see what happens. Like I like what we have in terms of the young talent in the door. I mean, the guy we drafted, Darren Porter, he's a guy who's getting rave reviews from reports for what he's doing at the camp. And, you know, Jacorian Bennett, I hope he builds up on what he did last season, being our best coverage cornerback by a long mile, you know what I mean? And for me, like a guy who's, you know, as far as draft capital is concerned, like name me a cornerback that we've drafted in the last 13 years that covered better than Jacorian Bennett did last year. Name one.
This is true. Now, to go to your point, Eric Stokes is the oldest guy, but he's 27. Oh no, he's 26. So there's that. So he's the oldest.
How long has he been in the league for?
He been in the league. Shit, he ain't been that long for real. He got drafted in 21, so he been in the league for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, further to my point, like we're missing veteran presence in that corner. Cornerback room.
For sure. This is why I've been saying with Jalen Ramsey, because it's like you get a guy like that, and I know that's a long shot, but it's just you can see it. You get a guy like that immediately, everybody eyes in the room is wide because that's an all pro, bro. Like everything he says, that's gospel at that point. So
Yeah.
I would like to get somebody where they can learn from, like especially Darian Porter. If he can learn from a guy like that, that's invaluable, right? Because then you get Pete, you get a guy like that, bro. You getting all type of tutelage, but that's out the way. Now, if we talk
is
about,
Ramsey is it Ramsey a mentor type guy, or is he more of a Marcus Peters, I'm gonna just get mine kind of guy?
nah, he more of the first one.
Okay.
He'll
Sorry to
mentor.
interrupt. I just want to ask that real quick.
No, it's all good because he I know sometimes you'll see like the little when he gets amped and all that extra, but nah, he's like that. I give him that.
Yeah.
But for the corner room, I do agree it is inexperienced. The only problem, and this is the thing, I argue about Ja'Cory Bennett with like even dudes from Chris and Leo and all. I argue with them all the time, bro.
I watched your last live.
Yeah, the only thing is like with him, I know the injury thing is one, but as of right now, I know everybody's like he's coming along slow because of the injury, but the whole time I'm like we didn't really hear anything about his shoulder until he just said something. So then like he just said something, now all of a sudden it's a topic, right? I mean, and y'all can let me know, but before that, we weren't really talking about that. We were like, okay, he's on the field, we're working, whatever the case. But more and more, we're continuing to hear Eric Stokes and Darian Porter in with the first team. Now, yes, that can be them mixing it in a little bit, seeing what's going down. But where I start to question it is like with Darian Porter, and I know Pete's gonna come out here and be like, it's competition, but let's keep it real. You just drafted Buddy in the 3rd round. You want him to play. That it is what it is. Like you definitely want him to get out there. If he don't get out there, then it's just probably because he's not that good, and y'all messed up, and y'all got to do everything else. But y'all just drafted him. Y'all spoke highly of him. They probably want Darian Porter to play. Where I'm looking at is Eric Stokes, and I'm like, okay, Eric Stokes just got here too. So at the end of the day, they both learning the system. He ain't been here like that. So for him to start getting these first team reps immediately, and we know that Pete and John watched the film of this team last year, right? We know that they know who's on the squad. They know Ja'Cory Bennett. So it has my antennas perking at the fact that now he's not getting these first team reps right now. That's just the only thing. So if he comes into training camp and he don't get these first team reps still, now I'm going to be like, all right, bro, it's starting to get a little fishy, starting to get a little dicey.
Yeah.
Because now you in a real competition and you in a real battle now. And preseason games is going to start mattering and all the extra. But that's all going down the line.
Yeah, for me, unless somebody really stands out in preseason, Bennett's going to be a day one starter for me personally. Like if he's healthy, I mean, like I said, I asked you guys the question in the last 13, 14 years since the days of Nnamdi Asomugha, give me one guy that we've drafted at the cornerback position specifically that covered better than Ja'Cory Bennett did last year. You guys couldn't give me an answer. That's 14 years that Nnamdi
we damn near
Asomugha's
had
been
like, well, if we talking about 1 year, right? 1 year. We've had a lot of guys that's had a lot of 1 years, and we're like, okay, this is gonna be the guy, right? I remember, and this is y'all gonna get mad at me, but I'm gonna say it right now. It's giving me vibes. Remember Trayvon Mullen? Remember we all was happy about that?
Yes,
and
I know.
Like,
2019. Right. Yes,
and
he
like, all right,
did play well, but not better than Bennett. He didn't cover better than Bennett did last year.
It's giving me these vibes, man. Where we all it's 1 year here. First of all, we've only seen 1 year good play, so that's just the one. So we gotta. I have to see more than that because the first year was shaky. I understand it was rookie year, so we give him a pass on that. Fine, give him a pass. Then we saw last year, cool. I need him to finish the season. That's the one. But now I need to see what the 3rd year will be, right? Because if he comes in his 3rd year and then it's the same like last year, then at that point, all right, cool. Now we good. But we have no idea. Now you in the 3rd system in 3 years, which is not his fault. But now you in 3rd system in 3 years. That's just don't be kind to some players sometimes. So I just want to see what he does coming into it. And now we know everybody's on equal footing as far as competition goes and what this is, except for probably some of the guys that they just drafted right now that they really want to play.
Well, apart from our head coach, we still have the same defensive coordinator. So he still has that continuity.
Right.
So
that could be there, but they still changing some things around. It's not the same scheme. Now, PG is still there, but I know that they've said multiple times, and I think Ja'Cory Bennett said it in his presser. You can tell me if I'm wrong, Jay, but I know he said in his presser that he's learning the scheme too, right? Yeah. So he said, I'm still kind of learning and trying to get what the coaches want from me and certain things like that. So I know they're changing certain things up because Pete doesn't run the same thing that PG runs all entirely. So there's certain things that they do got to learn.
Oh, six. Did you hear that one rundown?
Oh yeah, I did, bro. And my whole thing, I kept asking, bro, can I see the offer letter or something? Because look, all of us that's played ball or whatever, man. If you've played ball, you've had the fortune to get one of those, bro. If you really getting some offer letters and stuff, you have that. You have that in your shoebox, or you got news articles and news clippings of when you did whatever you did in high school. Where are they? Why? I can't see those, bro. I told him he on film restriction. Until I see film, I can't see.
See this space right between me? This one here? It's thin air. That's where his receipts are.
Yeah.
It don't exist.
Nowhere to be found.
I'm looking, bro.
Nowhere to be found.
He on film restriction until further notice, bro. What's happening, babies?
Yeah, man. But yeah, I mean, as far as Jacorian, I agree with Afakasi in the sense where if he stays healthy, I think he could definitely go ahead and be a starter. Now, would it be CB1? I don't know yet. That's yet to be determined. He has a talent. I think he can do it. But at this point, with the new additions, Porter coming along, Eric Stokes, it's going to be hard. I just want him to be the best version of himself he could possibly be. We saw solid work from him last year, and I want him to continue on that trajectory, right? So it's yet to be determined at this point, but I think it's kind of hard to say with Bennett and his future with us, right? So I think it just all happens on this health status. I mean, we didn't know that we didn't know he would play with the shoulder popped out, last year. And then it was just the ACL, boom, done. That's
right. But look what he did with that injury. He was, you know what I mean? Like I said, the best coverage I have seen from a drafted cornerback that we've had in one season. Yes, I know, one season, but at least it was that. I mean, every single one of these other corners that we've drafted, I know you listed Trayvon Mullen. He had a fairly decent rookie season, and then he did nothing after that. I don't even think he's in the league anymore.
Right.
Is he? No, I think he with Baltimore, maybe like third string or whatever.
Bouncing around. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like for me, like I think we've got something to work with. Yes, I had this debate with on Jeff's live just yesterday for you, where Angela brought up that there's rumors that we should trade him or cut bait.
I don't know about that.
That makes no sense to me. I mean, we're gonna keep guys around like Tyree Wilson and Michael Mayer, who were drafted in the same draft class, rounds 1 and 2, and see what they have at very least. And they have greatly underwhelmed for the expectation that they were supposed to give us being drafted in rounds 1 and 2. Yet a guy who's far exceeded expectation with where he drafted him, we're going to cut bait with him.
Yeah, now I don't agree with trading him or cutting him at all, bro. I don't agree with that. No. What I do, I was saying maybe can we try him at slot? I would like to see if we could try him at slot because of his speed and kind of. I would think he'd probably be the best option that we can have if he can get in there. My only thing is just because then we'd have two big corners, somebody that's fast on the slot, and then somebody that can stay with these speedy guys. It'd be straight. But my only thing is like the injury history with that would scare me because he's already got one. Bro, Chris and Leo hate when I say this. I'm like, dog, he has not finished the season in 2 straight years. That is a straight fact. 2 straight years he has not finished the season. He's missed like the last 4 games. So we need him to finish the season first and foremost. That's number 1, right? Because even if he is starting, right, and I've said it multiple times, Jay, if he is CB1 or he's CB2, whatever it is, you look at our schedule this year, he cannot afford to miss the last 4 games, especially the people that's talking about we need to get into a playoff push. Can't happen. Because if he's missing them games, then it's somebody unreliable like last year when we had to play DeCamerion Richardson and then Quentin Johnson ended up getting 200 goddamn yards. That's the effect. That's all I keep saying. Like, that's the effect that has. So we cannot afford that. We got to play the Eagles and all type of extra. Can you imagine DeCamerion Richardson playing A.J. Brown? Can you imagine? No, he's gonna give up 300 fucking receiving yards. We cannot do that, bro.
Well, look, just on that, I mean, look, I saw what you saw. DeCameron Richardson, he had a trial by fire debut last season, and he got cooked. But so did Jacorian Bennett year one, and
True.
You know what I mean? Like maybe he can take that second year leap, and like I don't know if I want to see as high as I am with Jacorian Bennett. Apologies for the background noise. In the coverage side of things, like when it comes to having someone in the nickel with what Patrick Graham likes to do, I mean, it seems evident to me that like if we're running a nickel sets, like if you're there, you're tasked to heavily to offer something in run support, which is what Nate Hobbs excelled in. You know what I mean? And even before that, Amik Robertson, when he was here, he excelled at that too. You know what I mean? And I don't think that's as high as I am with Bennett. That's his game. You know what I'm saying? But that is something that I think DeCameron Richardson, yes, he got cooked his rookie season in terms of his coverage, but with his tackling, that's something that he definitely doesn't lack. He's definitely a tackler. Better. He's definitely offers more in run support. So I wouldn't be surprised if they might trial him out there, but we'll see. You know what I mean? Like it's just a point of interest.
Hopefully, man. I mean, because I've been saying your best bet, our best bet, even though I talk a lot of shit about DeCameron Richardson out a bit, but our best bet, I've said it multiple times, is him and Darian Porter being our best corners. Because if they are, they're both 6'3" and run a 4.3. How many teams in the league can say that their starting corners are that big, that fast, and can pretty much run with any receiver? Not many. You ain't got many teams in there that got that combination. So we'd have one of the more athletic corner rooms in the league if Darian Porter and DeCameron Richardson ended up being
very fast. And don't forget Bennett ran a 4.3.
Yeah. So like thinking like even Eric Stokes runs that, I believe. I think he runs in the 4.3, something like that. So he's athletic as well. Just the thing about him is we don't know too much about him as a fan base. I know because he came from the Packers. So it's like we kind of getting it. But his thing is he's big. He's fast too. So that's why I say he throws a wrench in the competition as well, because he is kind of veteran and he's been in the league for a cool amount of years where, like you said, he's not over the hill, but he's still got some years left. You know what I mean? So he throws a wrench in it. But we got a lot of guys that's athletic in here, and it can really work depending on the combination.
Right. I get like, and this is part of the argument yesterday, is that like he doesn't necessarily fit the physical traits, whether he's undersized or whatnot. I'm talking about Bennett specifically. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like you could be, you may lack in the speed department, which he doesn't. You may lack in the size department, which he does. But at the end of the day, I don't care about that. Your primary role as a cornerback, if you're on the outside, is what?
That's the cover for sure.
Is coverage.
Yeah, coverage.
And if you excel at that, I don't care. Like as long as he gets the job done, which he did last year, and if he continues to do that, that's all I care about.
See, and the only problem is I really think that Pete likes his preferences. I like that. That's my strong belief on why I be thinking that, because I really think Pete really likes his preferences. I mean, I think he's even said this before or something like that. Or he'd be joking about it. He's like, yeah, I like my corners big or something like that. But just like last kind of example, I know last guy that Pete had that kind of had the same, I want to say, measurables as Jacorian Bennett that he got was Devin Witherspoon. Now, I will admit, Devin Witherspoon to me is better than Jacorian Bennett, but it's the same measurables. He ended up putting Devin Witherspoon in the slot, and we know Witherspoon played outside a lot during his college days. So it's like he tends to do it every time he tends to get this type of corner. He always like pigeonholes them and puts them in certain spots, and he's done that for like a lot of his career. So I just want to see like what he does with Jacorian Bennett. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah,
but if what they're tasked to do, their primary job, I mean, I get it. Like I said, he might not fit the physical traits, but if his primary job is coverage and it's better than the guys we have in the door, then for me that it forgoes that. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, you might not fit the mold of what I find ideal and what I'm looking for, but at the end of the day, if you can find a way to get it done, which is like I said, he found a way each and every time. I mean, East Coast Gridiron brought up the stats. I mean, he shut down one of the premier wide receivers in the game last year, 50 yards, Jamar Chase. You know what I'm saying? And that's no easy feat. So Yeah, I'm high on Jacorian Bennett. I will fight for the guy, and especially more so is that like I was very critical of the guy. You probably remember this rundown. I critiqued the guy heavily for like not just for him getting beaten in coverage, but also like there was numerous times when I noticed a lack of effort when it came to okay, you've gotten beaten in coverage, but there he is jogging behind the guy, not even utilizing his 4.3 speed to at least show some effort to get there and make a play. You know what I mean? And he didn't do that last season. He built up and he made improvements. But anyways, I don't want to take too much more of your time. I know you got other segments to go on, Jay, but that's just how I feel.
No, you're good. This is a good discussion that we're having about the secondary right now. If they go out and get Shaq Griffin, obviously there's more competition. It's similar as far as measurables with Jacorian. So it'll be interesting whether or not they want to go ahead and bring him in. I feel if they do pull the trigger, probably sometime next week. I don't know if they're gonna wait out any longer. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Shaq Griffin. But Jacorian Bennett, I still think he has an important role in this secondary. And I think he's still going to be a factor. Hopefully, he stays healthy and he has a good offseason.
That's really going to do it too. He's got to stay healthy to continue. If he gets hurt during camp, it's going to mess up the chances. It's going to mess up the chance of him beating or just being the starter. Right. You can't miss time. Like with a new coaching staff, you just can't miss time because they're looking right now. Everybody's building a resume. So like if he's as of right now, like and I definitely understand what you're saying, Afakasi, about last year, but it's like they can only go off the film of last year. So if he comes in this year and he's on the field and he's not looking like the film, they're gonna be like, well, we just signed this dude over here. We might as well go with this dude, especially if he's hurt. So I just hope it's a fair competition. He's out there. We get to see everybody. Especially with the joint practices we're gonna have with the Niners and all that, like it's gonna be good. So I definitely want to see that.
Year two, I mean, if he even just stays as he was last year, if he's healthy, and I do agree with you on that point, like then we're goody with Bennett. Like all he needs to do is to stay lateral. You know what I mean? Like, and it's only year two, so you're only gonna usually only progress. Come year 3 and year 4. You know what I mean? And if he progresses, it could be scary. What in a good way, what he can do and what he can offer for us. But like I said, look, I don't want to take too much of your time on the topic at hand. I know you guys.
You're good. But let me go ahead and kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about Kolton Miller. Right, Kolton Miller had a presser early this week, and he said openly, "I want to be a Raider." I have a little excerpt of that presser. Let me go ahead and play it for you guys.
Yeah, you're going into the final year of your deal. For you personally, what went into your decision to commit to coming in and practicing throughout OTAs and being here at manager?
I've been here for a long time, man. This is it's what I do, and looking to just improve each day, and the direction the organization is going with Pete. He's preaching competition. We got to make everyone better, including the young guys. So I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing and lead the guys. And that's how I'm rolling. I want to be a Raider. I want to be a Raider for life. I love it here. I don't want to go anywhere else. So, and I only know one way to do it, and that's showing up, getting better each day.
Yeah, you're going into the final year.
All right. So that was Kolton Miller talking about him wanting to go ahead and be a Raider. He wants to stay here. Me and Ron, we've talked about this before as far as how important tackles are. They don't really go around trees. It's really difficult to go ahead and get a really solid tackle out there. So,
shame on some people the way they spoke about this man after they heard that he wasn't at practice that one. Shame on some of y'all, bro.
Yeah.
Good and damn well we can get rid of this man. Stop it, bro.
2 times. This is a guy who's been in the door. We drafted in round 1, 2018. When everything else has been burning around him, he keeps his mouth shut. He's all business. You know what I'm saying? He's been a very, very good Raider since he's been in the door. The guy just wants to, earn what he's worth, and this is likely going to be his last paycheck before his play starts to regress. You know what I mean? And like I'll never hold players accountable for trying to maximize the value. They're not going to get another chance. This is their one chance, their one shot to earn as much money as they can with what they're good at. At football. You know what I mean? What part post football 80% of these guys, they don't have like other like, you know, high paying salary gigs like in media, whatever it is. Like once the show is over, that's it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I don't blame him doing what he needs to do, but he's done it the right way. He showed up to camp. He's not flapping his lips. He's not just, you know, openly speaking out about like how he's not getting paid or whatever. He's just, this is the first time I've even heard him speak at any presser throughout the
Right.
course of his Raider career. You know what I mean? So he's passionate. He wants to be here. He also wants to get paid. So I really like what Kolton Miller is doing. How much he's got left in the tank is to be seen. But you know, for the now, like he's at least going to be a solid option for us, at least for 1 or 2 more seasons. I've highlighted a few times that, you know, what I do like and appreciate what Kolton Miller has done for us. We really need to come up with a contingency plan and make plans for life after Kolton Miller. And I'm hoping maybe it could be this guy we drafted. What's his name? Caleb Rogers?
No,
Was it
Charles Grant.
it's Charles Grant. Okay, Charles Grant is the tackle. Caleb Rogers is the
Yeah.
guy. Sorry, I get too confused. But
You're good.
you know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully it's this guy or someone else. But like, we really need to start grooming like a young tackle that can take over for life after Kolton, because it's going to come. Hopefully not sooner than what we may anticipate, but like, you know, it may be next season, it may be 2 seasons, but it's something that needs to be addressed. But left tackle is something that we have been blessed with for a while. Like, you know, like we struggled at other portions of the line, but since I've been a Raider fan, left tackle's usually we've always had somebody in door, whether it be Donald Penn, Jared Valdir, another small school guy. Maybe that can be the case with Charles Grant. He could be like that. It worked out with the Jared Valdir pick. And then before him, you know, like with Barry Sims and co, like it's something we've always kind of had in the door. It's the right side that we've kind of struggled with until last season with DJ Glaze. So.
Right. And thankfully we got that good. It looks like he's, by all reports, impressing the coaching staff. So that looks good. I think I said it, you know, when I heard this and he first said it, I said it on Wednesday. There's really no discussion to have. When your franchise left tackle says that, you get it done. It's simple and plain. That's it. You get the contract done, bro. 2-3 years, whatever it may be. But he needs to be re-signed. That needs to happen. For the simple fact of, number one, he needs to get some money just based off the fact that all the coaching staffs this man has seen, and I appreciate you, Michael. Thank you. But hey, I really do appreciate you for real. Thank you. But all the coaching staffs this man has seen, bro, he needs to get paid for that. I mean, just off rip for that. All the coaching staffs and changes and regimes this man has been through, bro. He needs,
like I said, when everything else has been burning around him, he's been the one constant, doesn't flap his mouth, shuts his mouth, gets on with it, all business.
Goes to work.
Right. And then you said, I think
gives everything.
He's one of the last 3 Oakland Raiders too, I believe. I believe he's one of the last 3.
Is it 4? Him, Max
4.
Crosby, AJ Cole was a Oakland Raider, and Daniel Carlson.
Okay, so then it's 4. Yeah, 4. Last of the 4.
AJ Cole was an Oakland Raider, right?
I'm trying to think. I think he was.
I think so.
Yeah. I think he was. Yeah. So I think it's 4. I think it's
the
4.
last.
But yeah, they the last of a regime, bro. They the last of a dying breed. So off rip, man, I give him that. And just now, football standpoint, Charles Grant is not ready anytime soon to take over for Kolton Miller. He's not. He's probably 2 years away from taking over for Kolton Miller. So as of right now, you would like him to be maybe a swing tackle, right? That's probably why we heard Thayer Mumford at left guard, right? We heard him getting work at guard. Funny enough, because you're trying to get Charles Grant as much work as tackle as you can until he takes over. But in that regard, bro, you got to get your veteran left tackle in there until your contingency plan, like Afakasi said, is ready. So when he's ready, you can let Kolton go into the sunset like he do, you know what I mean? And then we shift your boy in there as we're supposed to. So I think it's a good plan right now, but it starts with getting him re-signed. I think they're going to do it soon. I would think he's the next one up, honestly. I know Jacoby's in that mix, but if it was me, I'm getting Kolton first, and then I'll do Jacoby after that. It'd be after that.
Oh, yeah, 100% agree. You definitely got to take care of Kolton. I mean, like you guys said, he's been there thick and thin. I don't know anybody else that would have been through so much shit and still want to be a Raider, right? At the end of the day.
God damn.
But most importantly, this is the thing. He's been solid. He's put in solid work, at that position. And I don't know who is out there that's better that you can go ahead and get. You got to take care of your
Nobody.
tackles. You got to take care of your linemen. Continuity is so important with these guys, right? Because they work off every off season and it goes into the regular season of what they know what the other person's gonna do, right? How they shift. It's
Nice.
O-line is so important. So this is really where continuity really comes into play, right? Because if your guy to your right is shifts a certain way or he does a certain move on a certain play, that's important to know, right? And that makes your line so much better. So he's been,
As of right now, we have a lot of continuity, like you saying, OJ.
right. So having him be here for so long and really having that now, you could definitely say he's a veteran. Having that veteran presence is so important. So having him here for another 2 or 3 seasons is key here. Letting Charles, getting him developed and getting him ready to go ahead and fill in and take over once Kolton decides to go ahead and ride off to the sunset is going to be very, very important. And hopefully that pans out, that plan pans out. And that's that's right now at the moment, that's what it's looking like. That's going to be the plan moving forward. So.
There's likely forgive me if I'm mistaken in thinking this, but there's going to be no better option if we moved on from Kolton Miller that's on the market still. I mean, if they were a better option, they would have been snapped up already in the free agency period. I mean, I don't want to take no flyers on some Andres Pete or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that. And like you highlighted, like we drafted Charles Grant, but he's not ready. It's unfair to plug him in and then expect him to plug that position immediately coming from a small school.
You cannot do that. You cannot do that. And then for all intents and purposes, right? We give Kolton a 3-year extension, right? He's 29. I think he's gonna be 30 this year. By the time that's over, he's 33. You feel what I'm saying? He's 33. That's perfect. That's perfect to let him be. By then, he should be ready to go, right? Damn near. And then you looking at Charles Grant like you should be ready in this time. In this time frame, we should be good. So that's perfect time in order for him to get as much money as he can, play out his good years, and then let Charles Grant develop and get it in.
Yeah, facts for sure, 100%.
Or if he doesn't show us enough to be faithful with this season, then draft one, whatever.
Exactly. You draft one, and then at that point, you give yourself at least some time to figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. So, but hopefully that works out, and hopefully we'll get the news that Kolton's been extended pretty soon.
Salute.
Shout out to Rafa. Salute, brother. Appreciate you. But let me go ahead and move into our final segment, the spotlight. Meet our guests. So we do this every show. We talk about our guest, and then obviously today's guest is none other than Afakasi Raider. So let me go ahead and start from the beginning. Let me ask you, how long have you been a Raider fan? And then what made you really fall in love with the silver and black? Was there like any specific moment that kind of sealed it for you?
Yes, I can answer that right from the rip. Like I know the moment. I know how long I've been a Raider for. I know the very first game that I watched. So I've been a Raider fan since 2009. I started following the sport of football 2008 when I invested in cable. And before that, like with the free-to-air television here, it was mostly like Australian sports. They weren't really playing much American sports. But once I got cable, it kind of expanded my horizons, and I fell in love with American football. And then I was like, right, once I got the grasp of like the rules and how everything works, it took me like, you got to watch a few games. Like, oh, okay, that's how the game works. Blah blah blah. I was like, okay, well, what's the next step? Need a team. Not being that I'm from Australia, like I have no ties to anybody, so I was kind of like a free agent per se. So I was like, oh, all these teams, yeah. But then, like, I watched the documentary. I was just trolling through YouTube, and it was a video that hit my feed. It was the top 50 rivalries in sport, and the number one rivalry was the Raiders against the world. And it was talking about like how the Raiders were the bad guys, the outcast. They did things the Raider way, the Al Davis way. What's Raider rule number one?
Just win, bro. It's just
No. Come on, gang, you don't know Raider rule number one?
What's
JD, no Raider rule number one? Cheating is encouraged.
Oh, cheating is encouraged. Okay.
And then
What's
rule
Raider
number
rule
two
number two?
See rule
See.
number one.
See rule number one. There you go.
Mhm.
I'm disappointed in you guys. I thought you would have known that.
hey,
I'm so asleep, bro.
But anyways, look, I watched that documentary. I was like, wow, like something just resonated with me. I watched that year's draft when they drafted Darius Hayward-Bay, and it was apparently like an Al Davis type move. He went against the grain. Everyone thought we were going to take Crabtree. And then I woke up one morning, and it was the Monday Night Football game. It was either that or a Thursday night game. I'm pretty sure it's Monday night. And it was the Raiders against the Chargers. We just made a trade for Richard Seymour, and then I watched the opening drive of the game, and this is mind you, this was a white hot San Diego Charger team. Like they were very good around that period. They made 2 deep playoff pushes. I think they were in the conference championship game or whatever it may be, but they were very good. And we came out hot out of the gate. We punched them in the mouth. You know what I mean? We had them 3 and out. And then I saw this, the camera was panning around the stadium and into the black hole and seeing all the super fans getting buck wild and just making a whole bunch of noise. That was my moment. I was just like, you know what? That's it. I'm a Raider. And I've been a diehard Raider ever since. You know what I mean?
That's fine.
I might not be from the area, but you know what? Sometimes in here. And it's been my calling ever since then. It's been tough sledding for the most part, but I ain't going anywhere. I've been through it all in that time frame, and it's never going to stop, even when the casket drops and into the afterlife.
There you go. That's what's up. Let me ask you this. Obviously, you're a diehard fan, and every diehard fan has one. Who's your favorite Raider of all time?
There you go.
Oh, gee. You know what? I'm going to go with my first favorite Raider. Darren McFadden. I love Darren McFadden. And I still do.
Yeah, man.
I look, I know post-injury he wasn't the guy he was during the course of 2010, 2011. But during that time frame, that guy was one of the most dangerous, deadliest players in the league. You know what I'm saying? Like all those runs he was doing in that time frame, averaging, over 5 yards a carry. You know what I'm saying? Like that's elite company, and he was the first player I fell in love with. Like I love that period of time. Like the names. Like we didn't have any star-studded names outside of McFadden on offense, but I loved Denarius Moore. I loved Jacoby Ford. I loved Jason Campbell. I even loved Darius Hayward-Bay, which is funny enough. You know what I mean? And then on the defense, like Nnamdi Asomugha, Richard Seymour, Tyvon Branch. I love those guys. So that would be my answer. That's a period that was really dear to my heart. So yeah,
fire, man. That's my guy too, man. I love Darren McFadden.
Love Darren McFadden.
Yeah.
And people should put some more respect on his name. Like during his best days, he was a weapon. You know what I mean? Too many people disrespect him and choose to remember like what he was after the injury. And I don't think that's fair.
He dismantled people, bro, before his injury, bro. He was dismantled.
100%. 100% for sure. It's funny. I actually saw one of his posts earlier. So that's funny that you say. I think his son. I think something about his son. He had one of his posts on IG this morning. So shout out to our guy Darren McFadden. But yeah, Ren, you want to go ahead and go with the next question?
Oh yeah, man.
One last one. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Just quickly, my other favorite would be Khalil Mack.
Oh, fire.
Okay.
I like Khalil Mack though. I like Khalil Mack. Some people say, I don't know, it can be a conversation about the length he was here, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. The question I have is during the content journey, what's kind of been the most challenging thing for you during your content journey, just making, Raider content, just, going about it. And kind of what's been the most fulfilling out of the whole thing?
The most challenging, I guess, like, look, it's it's easy to make content when things are popping. You know what I'm saying? Like when and it hasn't really been much in my content creating days. You know what I mean? But like a lot of content creators really drop off when times are tough. But like us Raider fans, like I mean, we've been built for this. But it's still it's tough. You know what I mean? Like grinding it out through the bad times and just trying to just get through it. You know what I mean? And I guess like here we are in off season. Like this is the time when you really got to grind and get creative. I mean, you know, there's not really much happening. I mean, we signed Pratt, but outside of that, like you go weeks, months where it's just like a whole bunch of nothing, a whole bunch of hypotheticals and all that. So this is the time frame where you got to okay, like what's going to keep my audience engaged? What's going to keep them entertained without me just over, you know, drawing out, like, you know, talking about the same things over and over again. So that's a challenge of it, but it's also fulfilling when you meet those challenges and you find ways to engage. But the most fulfilling part of the journey is like I am literally on my own little lonely bubble here in Australia. Like I've been watching up until I started to invest more time in this content creating business. Like I had nobody to talk Raider football with. Like literally nobody, you know what I'm saying? That nobody gets passionate like me here in Australia. You know what I mean? I found some guys here, but like, you know, for me, I bleed this, you know what I mean? Like I wear the gear. I've got the flag behind me. I've been to Oakland, you know what I'm saying? I went to their last ever home win before they moved to Vegas. I was there 2019, you know what I'm saying? And that was one of the greatest days of my life. You know what I mean? Like that's how high and how much this shit means to me. You know, so the most fulfilling part is like, you know, now that I've been able to meet you know, so much more like-minded fans like through this online content creating scene, that's been the most fulfilling part to me. And then having people like, you know, saying things in a positive light, you know, like telling me, you know, that they appreciate what I do and that like, you know, that you know, even like something is like as small as like, you know, leaving a comment in your chat feed or a like, you know, it means the world. It might not mean much to someone, it means the world to me, and it makes it all worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like even if it's just one person who believes in you, that's one more than I ever had in the last you know, for the longest time. So that's been the most fulfilling part.
Exactly.
Beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's a fact, man. I that was a great ass answer, bro. That one hit me in the feels, man. That was real.
Yeah, that is for sure, man. Yeah, it does go. It goes a long way for sure. Yeah, really quick. We do got a super shout out to our guy Chewy. He said McFadden was my first jersey.
Same.
Mine too. I still I dug up my old photo and I shared it on my Instagram of my I was driving around and I took my Nokia like friggin' 2610, one of those crappy little phones, and I took one of my first selfies and I was rocking my Reebok McFadden jersey, the first jersey I ever owned. I lost it since then, but now I own McFadden Nike jersey in both black and white. I had to do it, you know.
That's a must.
Him and Mac are my two favorite Raiders of all time.
There you go. That's what's up. Let me ask you this. You know, tell us what you have going on right now. Is there anything that you know, everyone out there should be kind of looking out for from you? Any big collabs or anything like that?
Chewy, don't feel too bad. Honest, you know, now that I'm going to share this, like that first jersey I owned was a Chinese knockoff, but it was a good one at that. But it was a knockoff. But the ones I have now, they're the real legit ones in both black and white. But
I think everybody goes through that though. Everybody goes through that.
Oh yeah,
right. But as for what I've got going on, I mean, you would know. I recently had you on the show with me. I was just talking about like in this off season, you kind of got to get creative and find ways to, you know, keep things moving. And that's one of the things I did. I put together this quiz show, this game show that I've been having guests come on and duke it out with their Raider knowledge and putting everyone to the test. So that's been a lot of fun. I'm going to do another one on Sunday night for you guys. So 7 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Central, and 10 p.m. Eastern. with the Just Win Baby crew. So they're going to be my next 3, and hopefully one of those guys, whoever wins, can challenge Cheeto because he's a 2-time champ now. And I know a lot of people are getting kind of sick of it.
Cheeto's a nerd, so that it don't matter, man. Cheeto's a nerd.
Oh yeah, he straight up lit us up, bro.
All right, somebody gonna knock him off. Somebody gonna knock him off.
I saw your chat, so you guys keep it.
Oh, hey, no, you good. I just got some family thing to take care of, or I'm getting in trouble. That's what it is today.
Yeah, but we like to do this so everybody gets to see a little bit different side of our guests, maybe some things that normally that people won't know. Basically our origin story of how we all became Raider fans and whatnot. But again, appreciate our guy Afakasi Raider to pull up with us this morning, all the way from Perth, Australia. Appreciate you, my guy.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me the time.
Yes,
it's been good. I've been able to chop it up with you guys, and I'm just a fan, a passionate fan who just gives his opinion, and I don't pretend to be anything that I'm not. I'm no analyst. I'm no whatever. You know what I mean? With secret inside sources, I'm just a fan, just like you guys, with an opinion.
Exactly. Exactly. We just give our best takes, and that's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
But again, appreciate everyone pulling up with us on this Saturday morning. Make sure you guys join us next Saturday as we have another fire guest lined up for you guys. Same bad channel, same bad time for my guy, me, and the Raider Rundown.
As always, man.
Thank you guys for pulling up with us. Hey, really quick, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
Happy Father's Day, man. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, this is Rundown first Father's Day. This is my second going forward. But shout out to all the dads out there. I'm gonna just say this: it doesn't take blood to be a dad. That's all.
Rest in peace, Father. I love you.
Agree, bro. Agree.
Yeah, and the fathers are gone.
R.I.P. to all the one that they can't give him a hug at this point, man.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love you, Father. Rest in peace.
Same here for sure. But other than that, we are out of here, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for pulling up with us another edition of Good Morning Raiders. Have a good weekend, everyone, and
be safe this weekend, man. Be safe.
Yes, sir. All right. Peace out, y'all.
Take care.